Six ways to attract new clients offline and online. One way is to build a free website. Now I say free, I mean those of you that are salon owners, you probably hired somebody to do a very nice website for you, that's fine too. I'm talking now if you're an individual hairdresser, if you're a booth renter, if you just work at a salon and you're just like a salon employee, have your own website. Have your own website. These, you can build a free one at this place called Weebly, W-E-E-B-L-Y, W-E-E-B-L-Y.com, Weebly.com. You go there, you can build a free website. And people, don't be intimidated if you never build a website. If you can use Microsoft Word, like a word processor, who can use Microsoft Word in here? If you can work a word processor, you can build a website. They've made it brain dead simple now. You don't have to learn all that programming language and all that stuff. They made it brain dead simple. You go there and build a website. Who in here uses a Mac computer? Anybody use a Mac? If you use a Mac, you have a program already in your computer called iWeb. iWeb is a very simple way to build a website also. What you want to do if you want to use iWeb is, that's in your iLife suite. You know what I'm saying? You have iMovie and iTunes and all these different things. Well, one of them is called iWeb. You can go Barnes & Noble, buy a little book on how to use it, or you can go to the iWeb website and you can get the tutorials on how to use it. It's very, very simple to use. Yeah?
There's probably online tutorials.
Oh, there are. They're free online tutorials. There's tons of them. And what do I build a website around? I'm just a hairdresser working in a salon. What did I say before? You got to become a celebrity, right? Okay? So you want to talk, you want to have a lot of stuff on there about you. Your training, where you've been trained, your professional biography, maybe other places you've worked, any contests you've won. Best if you have pictures of that as well, updos, hairdos, or color, whatever. You want to have photographs on there, a lot of photographs of your work. Maybe some before and after photographs would be wonderful to put on there, before and afters. But before you put a before and after of a customer, you got to have her sign a release form, just so you know. Don't get arrested, okay? Just have a little form. And by the way, you would always want to have a digital camera at your station, or your telephone. Even nowadays, just use your telephone. But you always want to have a digital camera there. So a lady comes in, or whoever, it doesn't matter. Somebody comes in, their hair, and you're going to do a big makeover on them. Say, do you mind if I take a picture of before and after that I can put on my website? Because this is going to look awesome when I'm done. Very rarely would somebody say, no, you can't. You take a little picture right there at the seat, right there. Don't make it a big deal, but just right there, bam, bam, take a little snapshot of them. Afterwards, you take another snapshot of them. Do make a little form. You can download one off the internet called Model Release Form. Just go Model Release Form. Just Google it. And you may have to customize it a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Like you put your name in there, your salon name in there. And just all the release form has to say is something like, I agree to let, Susie Q use my photograph on her website for promotional purposes for no compensation. Right? Right? You know about release forms, is that correct? Okay? And let her sign that and date it. You keep that on file, just in case she won't come back to you later. Her husband will come back to you and say, hey, we put my wife's picture up there. I want her to get $100 for that picture. You don't want to do that. So just get her permission, sign a release form so you're cool, nothing, okay? But, on our Clubhouse, don't we have like hundreds of pictures? If you don't know, I think I said already about the Clubhouse? haircolorclubhouse.com. Yeah, if you go there, you'll see tons of pictures of people putting up all the time. But you do that for your own website. So you want to put up your biography. You want to put up there your training that you've had. You want to put before and afters. You want to keep putting more and more stuff on there. Now I'm going to give you one little secret. And this secret is going to tell you how to get your website higher in the search engines, on Google search engines. And that secret is this. Google has programs called spiders and bots, also known as web crawlers. You don't got to write all this down, but I'll tell you real fast how it works. These software programs that Google has crawls through every page of every website out there, millions and millions and millions of websites, and it indexes terms that you put in there. All right? So when somebody Googles that term, you rise to the top, assuming your term is there. So you have to put text on your website, not just pictures. There's a big mistake that a lot of salons do, a big mistake, because pictures are beautiful, they're great, and you want some pictures, but spiders and bots cannot read pictures. It can only read text. Okay? So like on my website, this is my website. If you go to dvsalon.com, my salon website looks like this. Now that's just the top portion. So you do see some pictures and you see some videos on the side here. But this text right here goes down for a very long way. I talk about being a hair color specialist. I talk about the importance of specializing in hair color. I talk about different types of color we do. I talk about this. I talk about that. I have another page of questions and answers that I put on there, like, if I'm pregnant, can I color my hair? Well, yes, I think you can do this and that. If I have boop, boop, bop. You know, I do a Q&A, a whole bunch of questions. Because when somebody Googles in those terms, if I'm pregnant, color my hair, bam, I come up. If somebody Googles, and you want to use your town a lot, the name of your town or the name of your salon on your home page, okay? So when somebody Googled hair color expert Des Moines, Iowa, you pop up. Hair color expert Sarasota, Florida, you come up. You see what I'm saying to you? You Google, you put that a lot in the text. And Google will bring you up higher in the search engines, okay? If anybody here right now is online, on your telephone or whatever, if you Google the term hair color education, you'll see at least one of my websites right at the top. Usually my one website where I sell my books at, which is over 60 pages of text explaining about my books in great detail, I'm number one in the search engines, okay? And if you look down, you'll see for the Hair Color Clubhouse, you'll see some stuff. And then you look at another website they have called haircolormentor.com. And you'll see that because Google has been very friendly to me. Why? Because Google is in the business of supplying their customers with information. So you want to be the information source. If you just have a website full of pretty pictures, you're not providing information. Does that make sense to you? Nobody goes online to buy stuff unless they're going to like Amazon.com or eBay or to a place like where they purchase stuff. Most people go online to get information. Google is in the business of providing you or their customers with information. So if you have more information about that particular subject that you're writing about, if you have that information more than anybody else, you will rise to the top. Did you Google hair color education? Yeah, what's the top? Haircolortradesecrets.com. That's me.
There you are, right there.
Yeah.
Top first one. Absolutely.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm not lying. And it's been there for 3 years. The other thing you can do is start a beauty blog. These are 2 free places you can build a blog. Now, a blog is another type of a website. You know, Weebly might allow you to do a blog. I'm not sure if they do or not. But if they don't, and this is the other thing too, don't just build one website. You can build several websites. Okay, these are free by the way, and again, very easy to do. One is called blogger.com, B-L-O-G-G-E-R, blogger.com, and the other one is called wordpress.org. This is my Blogger website right here. You can see what that looks like. That's Blogger. It looks very much like the Clubhouse, but it's not the Clubhouse. This is a different website that I have. I must have 10 websites because the idea is I want to be all over the web. I want to canvas the web. I want anytime somebody puts the term hair color education, hair color videos, hair color DVDs, hair color, I want to rise to the top. You got that? You want to dominate, okay? And it's free. It's free. All it takes is your time. You know, in the world, we live in a world of time versus money. If you have more money than time, you got a lot of money, you haven't got a problem. Then you can hire somebody else to do this stuff for you. You can hire a college kid to do this stuff for you. You can hire a college kid, what am I talking about? You can hire a 12-year-old kid. 12-year-old kids are building websites, okay? My 15-year-old daughter does my Facebook for me all the time, all right? So that's not, if you have more money than time, you do it that way. If you have more time than money, you can learn how to do this. It's very easy to do, believe me. Who in here has a website? Who in here is doing this kind of stuff? Okay? It's easy, right? If you're doing it yourself, you find it's very easy. Okay, so blogger.com, an interesting thing about Blogger, I'm going to Blogger, this one here is a Blogger website. Blogger is owned by Google. That's a key thing to understand. First of all, Blogger is easier to do than WordPress. It's much easier to do. WordPress is a little bit technical. You could go to a store like Barnes & Noble and buy a book on WordPress and you can learn about it. But Blogger is great and simple, and Blogger is owned by Google, which means that everything you do on Blogger, Google definitely checks out first. Okay? So your chances are better getting higher. Now, what do I mean by beauty blog? You know your before and after pictures on there. Okay? That wedding party that you did, who does the wedding parties? Right? That wedding party, put them on there. Again, get permission, please. You could put photographs, you could put videos, but every time you do that stuff, that's visual. Remember, that's visual content, which is great for people to watch, but you have to make commentary in text. I can't stress that enough. As hairdressers, we generally don't like to write. You know, we like pictures and we like video. And I'm not putting anybody down, but we are visual learners, okay? And that's the truth. You got to realize that the websites, the web crawlers are not sophisticated enough yet, although they're working on that, to index the text or video. They cannot index, photographs or video, which are called images. They only index text. So you must put text. Simply means commentary. You know, you have before and after, okay? Okay, this was Susie. This is Susie, and she came in with her hair breaking off this at the other, and blonde. I made her to a brunette, and I did this to her, I did that to her. And don't put formulations and stuff. We're talking about lay people. You want customers to read this, not other hairdressers, okay? If you're at the clubhouse, the hair color clubhouse, you can do formulations, because now you're helping other people. You're teaching them. That's different. But if you're doing something for the general public to get to you, that's what you want to do, all right? Okay, social networks. I don't have to tell you about Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. I mean, those are the three dominant ones. You got to be there. Especially Facebook and YouTube. And when I say Facebook, I'm not saying go there and just gossip. Okay, I'm saying have a professional. You can do another Facebook account and keep it professional. They have what called Facebook fans. Okay, so it's a little bit different. But you can do a Facebook where you can put pictures. You can be here at the hair show taking pictures, and within 5 minutes have it on your website, have it on Facebook. Okay. So the idea is that you get Facebook, you get Twitter, you get YouTube, some YouTube videos, you do all this kind of stuff. You know, your digital camera or your telephone can take video in the salon. You can take video and zap it right up to YouTube. Again, please get written permission, okay? But zap it up to YouTube and you build up a library of this stuff. And then what you do, folks, is remember I said the first one was to build a website, blog, social networks. Now what you do is you link them all together. And they become more powerful. It's like a big chain. From your YouTube account, you're connecting that to your website. From your blog, you connect it to your website. From your website, you connected it to your Facebook. Everything gets linked together. Okay? If you go to the one you just rose up, which is haircolortradesecrets.com, I have links to the clubhouse. I have links to the blog. I have links to, I don't have links to my Facebook on there, but I have links to all kinds of stuff that I've done. Okay? So that's how you do it. It creates a synergy. And the more you do, I'm not saying do this tomorrow. You don't go home and do it overnight. But you take, this month you do a blog. You work on the blog. And you figure that out. And then next month you figure out the next bit. And the next month you figure out that. And then you start putting it together. And you got to keep updating it. That's the other thing. You don't just do it one time and forget about it. You go in there every however often you want, once a week or whatever. And you update it. You put some new pictures. You put some new... Because the search engines like new and fresh new information. Okay? Are you guys getting this? Good? Okay. Yes, ma'am.
There's a lot of companies now that will work on that stuff at a low price to constantly update things so that you're always
Yeah. There's a lot of, she made a good point. There's a lot of companies now that can do this for you if you want. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, it's a time versus money issue. If you got more money and you don't want to deal with it, you can hire a company or you can hire some young people to do it. I do have a guy who does my social networking for me. He's a specialist, and I pay him, but I pay him a good bit of money, but he's got me all over the net, places that I don't even know about, okay? And you can do that too, okay? Offer your services for free. I think this is kind of a no-brainer. We all know this. But you want to do fashion shows, charity events, makeover events, okay? Let your customers know that you're available for these things. Again, the idea is to reach out to more people, especially in your community. Charity events, makeover events, fund drives, fashion shows. If there's a little boutique in your neighborhood, near your salon that's doing a fashion show, say, hey, do you need a hairdresser for your fashion show? I'll be there. You know what I'm saying to you? And I'll be there as long as you put me in your brochure, or as long as you allow me to hand out my business cards or my whatever, okay? And of course, all your business cards has to have your website on there, right? Your website and the fact that you're a hair color specialist has to be on your business card. Attract free press. This is a little easier said than done, but it can be done. It's not that difficult. Okay, number one is learn how to become newsworthy. Learn how to become newsworthy. If you put an ad in the newspaper, it'll be this big and it'll cost you thousands of dollars. And nobody looks at it. Okay? But if you call the press and say, hey, listen, this is really cool. Let me tell you what we're doing in our salon. I'll tell you a case in point that I did back a number of years ago. We first started doing Great Lengths extensions in my salon. I called our local press, and I'm like, I own a salon here in town. My name is David Velasco. And the guy's, yeah, okay, what? And I said, well, we're doing something really cool in our salon, and it's called extensions, and it's relatively new, adding fake hair to fake. And I kind of explained it to him. He was getting real bored with my explanation. And I just came out and said, well, let me ask you a question. When was the last time your wife went to the hair salon and dropped $4,000 in one day? He's like, what are you talking about? I said, we're getting $4,000 for this service. He said, $4,000? I said, yeah, for a full head of great lengths extensions, we're charged $4,000. And he says, I'll be there. He comes with a photographer. Well, let me tell you. This thing was supposed to come out like on a certain day of the week, right? So he called me, so he's going to be in the newspaper on whatever day he told me something. Okay, fine. So that morning, it was a Wednesday morning, I go to the health club, I do my workout, I go to IHOP to get us some breakfast, and I pick up a newspaper, and it's supposed to come out today, right? So I'm looking all through the newspaper to find my little thing that he may have written about Great Lakes extensions, and I couldn't find it anywhere. And I'm like, that jerk, he didn't put anything in here. I closed the newspaper. On the front page, now this is the fashion section, it's not the front page, but it's on the, like what is it called? Living section, new living section, whatever. I close it, and I go, the whole front page, picture this big, pictures of my salon, pictures of the girls of Great Lakes. He brought a photographer with him when he came. I got a whole, I'm telling you, it's this big and that wide, the entire front page, okay? Just by telling him, like, when was the last time your wife dropped $4,000, okay, at the beauty salon? So that's newsworthy, okay? So you have to do something newsworthy. And newsworthy could be the fact that you came here to this show. It could be the fact that you learned to do something new in your salon, a new technique, something that stimulates interest and something that's interesting to the readers of that newspaper, okay? So you got to do some brainstorming sometimes. You know, meet with your group of hairdressers who work with you and say, what can we do? So you do that, okay? Okay, here's another one. New and innovative services. Like in my case, I just said to you about extensions. Now extensions aren't new, but they were a few years back, okay? But what's the next thing you're doing? What are you doing? Are you doing the ombre technique? Are you the only person doing the ombre technique in your, you see what I'm saying? New and innovative services. Try to get free press. Don't pay for press, but try to get free press. You'll get a lot more and it won't cost you a dime. Recent training, cite recent trainings. You know, we just got back from Vidal Sassoon. We just got back from the Hair Color Summit LA. This is what we did. Let me show you some pictures of what we did over there, okay? You want to cite recent training that you did. And they may not put it in right when you do it, but if they have an area, blocks of time, when they don't have much news, much fashion news going on, they'll put it in, okay? The other thing by doing this and by making contact with that person is you become the go-to person for the media in your area, which means that whenever something comes up, they go to you and say, hey, Susie, thanks for you. We've done it for you before. What do you think about this ombre technique? I heard somebody in LA said that this is the new thing, color. Do you guys know about it? And you say, yeah, well, let me tell you all about ombre. And before you know it, if you want to come to our salon, we do some makeovers for you and show you the ombre technique, okay? I had an email the other day from a guy who I didn't know, from Man the Moon. He is a writer for the New York Post. And he found me he Googled like hair color expert. He found me and he sent me an email. He said, David, he said, my name is so-and-so. I'm a writer for the New York Post. And he says, we're doing a big article on, and I am not a sports person, okay? I don't know basketball from football, from none of it. I just never got into sports, so it's never my thing. But he says, I'm doing a special article on Duke basketball. Do you guys know about Duke? Duke University basketball, and the coach has jet black hair, and he's 60-something years old. Does anybody know about that? Do you know what I'm talking about? Okay, right? So he says, I'm writing an article on Duke. He says, everybody says he dyes his hair, and you're the color expert. I can tell you're all over the web. You're the only guy that keeps popping up over and over and over. Can I send you some pictures of him, and you tell me definitively if you think he colors his hair or not? Yeah, I swear. Yeah. So I said, well, I'll try. I said, you know, for a photograph it's kind of hard, but I'll try. And sure enough, he sent me some photographs. So, of course, once I got the guy's name, I Googled that guy's name, and up, you know, you go to Google Images and Google his name, and up comes about 2,000 photographs of this guy. And I got photographs of this guy from the time he was a baby to present, okay? So after researching, after looking all these photographs, I emailed the guy back. And I said, in my honest opinion, I don't think he colors his hair. It's not unusual for somebody. First of all, I found out he was Polish. Okay, for somebody from that part of the world to have dark hair for a very long time is not unusual. Okay, I said there's no telltale signs. None of the. I said, by the way, you sent me 3 photographs. I pulled up over 100 photographs of this man. So I looked at a lot of photographs. I did not see any telltale signs of regrowth in any of them. Right. So if he's in his mid-60s, meaning he's got a lot of gray, you think he's got a lot of gray. At some point, one of those photographs is going to catch a regrowth area, right? I don't see, and usually with somebody with dark hair that dark, the hair tends to go red. Men color their hair brown. After a while, it's going to have a reddish cast. None of them have a reddish cast. I give a whole bunch of reasons why to back up my opinion. Again, it's only my opinion. I'm only looking at a photograph. But based on my professional opinion, I do not think he colors his hair. Okay? I said, however, I do think he has a hair transplant. Well, what do you think that did? That'd be another whole can of worms. See, tell me about the hair transplant. You know, he goes on the whole thing, you know what I'm saying to you? So it's like very funny. But, you know, he wrote a big thing in the New York Post about it, and he put me in the New York Post. So, you know what I'm saying? It kind of works like that. And you want to become the go-to person, especially your community. But, you know, if you want to nationally, it can be nationally. Okay, the last one I have here is write articles. Again, you know, that's like saying, oh, God, write articles, I don't want to write, no, I hate to write. Writing articles isn't hard, guys. All you got to do is think of focus. You know, have a focus on something. You know, you can write an article on baby boomers going gray. Okay? Now what you do is, you get in touch with like a publication in your area. It could be a newspaper. It could be just anyone. It could be, you know, in my area, where I live, it's called Bucks County. I live in Pennsylvania, Bucks County, Pennsylvania. And there's like a Bucks County Living newspaper that they have like a fashion section. So I call a lady. I go like, I'm doing a whole thing on gray hair and how we're handling gray hair for the over 50 crowd. And we're doing this, we're doing that. And she's like, wow, that's great. So, you know, they don't want to write it. They don't know nothing about hair color. You write it and you give it to them. You give it to them, chances are they're going to put it in. All right? So learn how to write articles. It's real easy. You can Google, how do you write articles? And you also come up formulas of writing articles. You have the numbers article, like the 10 things you should know about redheads, or the 10 things you should know, or the 7 things you should know about covering your gray hair, or that's the numbers article. You have the how-to articles. There's different formulas for writing articles, and once you have your formulas, all you got to do is fill in the blanks. It makes writing articles brain dead simple. Okay. What you could even do is actually get a tape recorder and just talk about the stuff. And then you can even, either type that out, you can send that to a transcriber, they can transcribe it for you, or you can buy dictation programs now. They're really easy on the computer. There's one, if you use a PC, there's one called Dragon Dictate, or if you use the iMac or a Macintosh computer, use one called iDictate. And what those are, their dictation. All you got to do is, put the software in, you play with it, you read the directions, very, very simple to use, and you talk to your computer and it writes it out for you. You don't have to type anymore. All right? And like writing my books, it's just a whole bunch of articles put together. One article, you get 10 of them together, you got a book. Number 6, networking. Okay, now I don't mean here like Facebook. We talked about that already. This is different. This is real human being interaction. I know at some point you're going to have to meet people. Okay? So this is what we got to do. Join a networking club in your area. Who knows that there are networking clubs out there? Okay, there's tons of them. Every community has them. Find one in your area and join. You go, it's usually one night a week or maybe 2 nights a month. You go, exchange business cards. They tell you about their business. They do plumbing and heating and you do hair. Okay? Well, someday when your plumbing and heating goes out, you know who to call. In the meantime, he's got a wife, he's got kids, they got friends and relatives. So join a networking group. A real person networking group. Here it says other business owners. Other business owners are great because they usually have people working for them. If they're business owners, they may have employees. Okay? I have a lady who comes to my salon. Her father owns one of the largest he owns mega car dealerships in my community, and she runs several of his dealerships for him. Okay? So I made a deal one time with her that we're going to do a special deal only for all her employees. That is called Fred Beans. Isn't that a funny name? Fred Beans Automotive. You know Fred Beans?
I'm from Bucks County.
Oh, are you really? Oh, wow. How about that? Okay, so Fred Beans owns half the town, this guy. But he's got about 1,000 employees. So I did a deal one time. We're going to do the employees. It was like a special discount. We gave to all their employees and their employees' wives because she said 90% of our employees are male because they're like auto mechanics and they're like car dealerships guys and so on. And I said, okay, that's fine. We do men. So we do men and we'll do all their wives for like a little special promotion for whatever it was. I forget what. It was like a deadline, within the next 30 days or something like that. So other business owners are really good. Corporation human resource people. If you want to get involved with the big corporation stuff like AT&T or 3M or some big corporation in your area, you want to get in touch with a human resource person, okay? And say, hey, we have a hair salon in town. We'd like to be able to, offer your employees a 20% discount, whatever, or for the month of July, something like that. You make it nice. You don't just be blatant like I just said. You make a thing about it. You know what I'm saying to you? Or every month we select a different corporation to do makeovers on, and this month we selected yours. And they may say no, but chances are they may say, hey, that's a nice perk. We need all our employees looking better. Okay? I mean, if I held a health club, I'd do the same thing. I'd say, hey, we're going to do like a weight loss thing every month. We try to get a new company to help people lose weight for that particular company. You know what I mean? But you got to work the angle. So you want for the corporation stuff, huh?
Then that HR HR department will let.
Yeah, you don't go to employees, you don't go to the vice president, you go to the human resource person. That's the person that would say yes or no and assimilate that kind of information for you, okay? And that's that person is, okay? Okay, here you have, it says find gatekeepers. Gatekeepers are key people in large networks. And they are club administrators. If you have a Lions Club or a Women's Club or any kind of club in your area, there's somebody who's in charge of that. You find her. She's what I call a gatekeeper because she knows a lot of people. Okay? So you have club administrators, you have forum moderators. If there's a forum for your community, like a community forum, find out who the person is in charge of that. And down here, I mentioned this one already, MLM leaders, multi-level marketing leaders. Sounds hokey maybe, but let me tell you, there's a lot of people in your town selling Shackley, selling Mary Kay, selling Avon, and all that stuff, and they know tons of people, okay? So you tap into their networks. Gatekeepers are a person, that's it. A gatekeeper is one person that has an affiliation with a lot of other people. So instead of wasting your time trying to get all the people, get the gatekeepers, and they'll get those people for you.